Hello everyone, welcome to Delirious Gaming episode 62. It's September the 26th, 2012 and the game in the background is Guild Wars 2. So, I've been playing a bit Mist of Pandaria. Well, to be honest, I only got my copy today. And until now I have only been able to play the pet battles. But I must say they are engaging. I mean, sure, they remind me a lot of Pokemon, at least the old games. Who didn't play one on an emulator? Or in a real, of course. But, no, I must say I really liked it. Of course, it's a gimmick. It's something you can do in your free time if you don't want to do anything. I mean, one of the main things which destroyed WoW for me was the fact that as soon as I hit max level, I either needed to clear my entire evening at least 2 or 3 times a week just to be able to raid. I never really liked PvP that much. I mean, I was a healer, and yeah, it was really fun in Eye of the Storm to be able to keep all of us up while 5 men were fighting against us. But other than that, no, I didn't find anything really engaging over there. And of course, I always ran out of gold. I was non-stop grinding, doing dailies. And just doing the 25 dailies that you can do usually took around an hour or 2 or 3. So if you wanted to do dailies every day, you wanted to wait and you wanted to craft a bit, which I usually did, then you were playing at least 6 hours a day just to be able to grind the experience. And I must say I really like the fact that pet battles is just something to relax a bit. You can go about it 10 minutes, it's shared across all your characters. I don't know if it's all your characters on all your servers, but at least on the same faction, on the same server, you have no problems. And yeah, you can level your pets a bit, you can fight whatever you want. It doesn't really matter that much. You just get to goof around a bit, which is of course awesome. Now, other than that, I haven't really seen a lot of the expansion, but I think it's at least better than Cataclysm. I got in pretty late at WoW because I didn't have a computer which could run it. It was that old at the time. So vanilla was way too late for me to be able to raid or anything. I didn't get max level before Burning Crusade came out. In Burning Crusade I leveled a mage, which was a dumb thing to do because nobody needed a mage. So when I finally hit max level, I started creating alts, because I never got to do anything with my mages except for dailies, and even then I didn't like them. After that we got Wrath of the Lich King. I started at root for that one. Managed to get 66 in about 3.5 weeks, I believe, and then it came out, so I just leveled right through it. Got 80, got into the raiding. I must say it was really fun. I have to admit that being a druid was a bit of an easy mode using healing, because a lot of the bosses required you to move, and of course we had a lot of instant hot switch. It's quite easy if you can keep moving. And Cataclysm, well, to be honest, I leveled, and it lost its appeal the moment I hit 85 and cleared the last zone. So, yeah, I'll be back for a bit with Mist of Pandaria. I'm going to check out a monk, Pandaren monk, of course. I'll probably get a lot of comments about Kung Fu Panda. For those of you who make those comments, Google both Pandarens and Kung Fu Panda and see who was here first. So, yeah, I'll probably make the background, the first steps with my panda, but we'll see. Now, On to the gaming news. Forza will get of at least Forza Horizon will get a season pass, and it will cost almost €50. It costs about 4,000 Microsoft points, which is in euros about €84. So I don't know if they convert using economy, because otherwise it will be about $60, and otherwise it will also be about $50. Don't know. Should look that up, to be honest. When you get this season pass, you pay about 17% less than if you would buy them each loose. The content which we'll get is an expansion which will be released on December 18th, and 6 different car packs who each have 6 new cars. The ones who get a season pass will also get 5 exclusive cars and the launch day pack. And some of the minimal requirements of Assassin's Creed have been recovered. To be able to play it, you need to have a PC with at least Windows Vista Service Pack 2, Windows 7 Service Pack 1, or Windows 8. You need to have a 2.66 GHz Intel Core 2 Duo E6700 processor, or a 3 GHz AMD Athlon 64X2 6000 Plus processor. You need to have at least 2 GB of RAM, but 4 is the command. Good question. What is the word? It's what is recommended. Of course, most of you know, if you have Windows 7 or Windows 8 and you have only 2 GB of RAM, then you probably want to get the RAM anyway. And you need to have at least 17 GB of free space on your hard drive. They have some supported video cards, namely at least on release, the AMD Radeon HD series, which is the 3870, 4000, 5000, 6000, 7000 or better. They also support some NVIDIA GeForce cards, namely the 8600 GT, the 9, the 100, the 200, 300, the 400, the 500, or the 600 or better series. Only in these chipsets you can run the game. The laptop version of these cards will also be able to play this game, but will not get any support. The PC version will also support a mouse and a keyboard or a controller. And if you use a controller, the Xbox 360 controller is of course recommended. And the first Steam Greenlight game is available as of now. It's called McPixel. The game costs about €5, $5. It's a humoristic game with a classic 8-bit design, and it's short point-and-click puzzles. The game is also available on iOS and Android, and it was the first game of the Greenlight games which were approved, which would be released, of course. And some good news for EA games. Most of you know that FIFA 2013 will be released at least around here on October 27th, tomorrow. And they have at least 1 million pre-orders and about 4.6 million demo players, so it will be a pretty popular game again. Of course, this, if you like the single player, this doesn't mean a lot to you, except that they will keep making the game. But of course, if you like to play online, it will be a pretty good thing to do. And the more people who play it, the more people will be online to play against. So, according to EA, it will be one of the biggest sport game launches ever. So, yeah, if you really are into those games, it will be a good thing. Some really localized news. As you might have noticed in one of the previous videos, I am Dutch. And EA Holland has announced that they already lost an truck with FIFA 13 games. The truck was parked at a gas station, and someone has cut open the sides, and they were from those trucks which were closed using tarp, and they were cut open, and 28 boxes with at least 420 games were stolen. So yeah, if somebody goes to that much trouble to get a game, it's probably not too shabby. The PlayStation 3 game Tokyo Jungle will get a patch for remote play support. This will enable you to play the game on your Vita, of course through your Xbox, through your PlayStation 3. This will be on at least on the American and the European versions of the game. There is no clue when the patch will appear, but the game itself will be released today. And the humble Indie Bundle 6 has gotten 4 new titles to the game, namely Bit, Trip Runner, Croatia Space Battles, Jamestown and Wizard. I probably took one of those apart and called them one game. Anyway. It already had a few games like Torchlight, Shatter, Rochard, Vessel and Space Pirates and Zombies. The 4 new games have no DRM and will run on Windows, Mac and Linux. You also get the soundtracks of the games, and if you want to, you can also download them using Steam. On another note, the Indie Gala, a similar website, has released a few of the bonus games. Usually when the Indie Gala releases, they tell you upfront how many bonuses you get, but they only released them in the last week. The games have been released, and the games which are the bonus will include Worms Pinball and Alien Breed 3 Descent. And Miyamoto has had a bit of comment on Super Mario Bros. 3. In the game you have 7 Koopalings, who are introduced as Bowser's kids, but Miyamoto has said himself that Bowser only has one kid, and that is Bowser Jr., and nobody knows who the mother is. Also he is saying about some comments about how Mario can not only be a mainliner in platform games, but he can also play sport games, and he tells a bit about it, how they adapt the characters to the game. And he says that you need to see it a bit more like a giant family or a group of actors who adjust according to the scene they need to play. And the Flood will return to Halo 4. The evil alien race, the Flood, will be back as playable aliens in the multiplayer modes Flood. Flood is a mode which looks a lot on the infection mode in the previous games. But in this one, the Flood is not the major enemy, but zombies. Of the 10 players who play each round. 2 will be playing as infected Flood, whose goal is to spread the infection. They also released some news about 2 new UNSC vehicles, namely the Mammoth, which is a giant troop support carriage, and a mech with rocket launchers and cannons. Now, on to the gaming releases. For Europe, we have tomorrow Bad Piggies for the Android, iPad, iPhone, Mac and PC, and Half Minute Hero Super Mega Neo Climax Ultimate Boy for the PC. And I must say that's quite a mouthful. And for America, we also have more than a few releases, to be honest. We have Bad Piggies for the PC, Android, Windows, mobile, web, Mac and the iPhone. We have the Denpa Man, They Came by Wave, which will be released for Nintendo 3DS. We have Hitori by Nicoli for the Nintendo 3DS, The Last Express for the iPhone, Half Minute Hero Super Mega Neo Climax Ultimate Boy for the PC, and Card Crashers for the Nintendo DS. And once again, today has been long enough, at least for this episode, so I'll forgo the segment today. And if you have any questions, you can send them to mail@healthwife.com. You can leave them in the comments, of course. I'll be posting the links on the blog. If you're watching this video on YouTube, you can find the link to the blog post in the description. And I'll see you guys tomorrow.